person I'm talking about on today's Fellowship Friday has been in a Fellowship Friday before, just as a brief mention, but today I wanted to really give him more of a spotlight on what he's really done and the cool stuff he's creating. Also, he started a Kickstarter, and I want to give him a little shout out to help, get some people to look at his Kickstarter and see what he's got going on there. We're talking about Mr. James Gifford. Hey fellow Game Masters, I'm Richard Quiner. Welcome back to the Daily D20, your daily dose of all things tabletop role-playing games, helping you build your world and master your game. And today, like I said, we're talking about Mr. James Gifford. He's been around, he's been creating stuff on D&D on the Instagram space for quite a while. He started a Kickstarter lately selling cards that he's created of his magic items that he's posted on Instagram. So I wanted to give him a little shout out with that, share some of these magic items that he's posted on Instagram, and talk about how they work and how you can use them in your own game. It's kind of like a Sunday stash video, but it's Fellowship Friday. First up on our list, we're talking about a magic item he's created called Hydriana's Comb. Now, Hydriana's Comb is a comb that you kind of wear in your hair, and when you do that, your hair, and if you have a beard, the beard as well, each grows to be about 5 feet long. But that's not the cool part. The really cool part is you can then control your hair like it's a pair of hands. So you basically grow 2 more arms of your hair. Pretty neat, right? It gets even better. These hair hands can use weapons. You can use bonus actions to make an attack on your turn. And so basically you just become this 4-armed weapon-wielding guru. This is an item that I think could do really well with rogues because, well, a rogue, already you want to get as many attacks in as you can. You start out with daggers, which don't really hit very hard, or a rapier if you decide to go that route. But the standard daggers of rogues don't really hit very hard, but you want to get as many attacks in as you can. So if you have some hair hands and some extra daggers, you can do more attacks, more damage on your turn, which is pretty neat, I think. But when you do attack with your hair hands, you do have disadvantage on those attack rolls, which kind of sucks, but it's just part of the thing. The downside of these hair hands, though, is if the hair gets cut, the comb loses its magic and you're stuck with just a comb. So you do have to be a little careful with your hair hands to not get them chopped off accidentally in combat. The next item I wanted to share with you guys is Tannaz's Blade. Now this is a +1 longsword. +1 meaning it gets a +1 to attack and a +1 bonus to its damage. Pretty basic stuff, but there's more to this longsword than that. In addition, this weapon is a finesse weapon. What does finesse means? Finesse, I guess I'll have to do a whole video on weapon stats and stuff, but finesse basically means a character can use their dexterity modifier instead of their strength modifier when making an attack, which means this weapon works really well for rogues or bards or other creatures that need more of a finesse kind of weapon. In addition to that, this weapon has no underwater penalties, so you can use this underwater and swing it to your heart's content and you will be fine. But wait, there's more. I'm like a used car salesman selling you this Tannaz's Blade. There's more. 3 times a day, once you're attuned to the blade, you can use the blade and lengthen it and turn it to water, which is just really cool. You just basically get a long water whip blade, in which case also the damage changes to cold damage instead of slashing damage. But then on top of that, the range increases up to 10 feet, so you don't need to be adjacent to your opponent to hit them with your watery sword whip. And then the last cool thing about Tannaz's Blade, if you throw it and you don't move, it will return to your hand on the next turn. So think of that. That could be a really cool kind of a seafaring weapon. You can take it on a ship. It won't affect you and you need to go toe-to-toe with a kraken in the water, especially if you're not a spellcaster, because that's the worst. If you're not a spellcaster, you need to hit something and then suddenly you're at disadvantage all the time because you're in the water. This can help you with that. So give that a look. Check out Tannaz's Blade. And the last item I'm talking about is called Linus Magic Ass. And it's actually a figurine of a donkey. Or an ass. And this is a more comedic item, but it still has some functionality, which I think is really cool. This is a magic figurine that allows the user, the person who wields it, can open any non-magical lock. So if it's locked, they can unlock it and they can open it. But the twist is, whenever they use this thing, it will create a wild magic surge. A wild magic surge can be found in the player handbook in the sorcerers section. They have a table of things that the dungeon master can roll a 100-sided die and something spontaneous happens. That's kind of the wild magic that this ass will produce when you unlock a lock. So all in all, I think that's pretty cool. You might have some weird situations come up from the wild magic surges, but overall it's kind of a neat feature, a neat kind of tool to have. But here's the thing though, rogues can't really use it. When a rogue touches Linus's magic ass, first they will get a fart. just a simple fart. The second time they touch it though, it farts a poisonous cloud at them, and then they have to make a save to kind of not die from the poisonous ass cloud. So that's a fun twist where suddenly the rogue generally is the one who's always picking the locks, but now with this item, someone else might be even better at them if you can, get through the wild magic surges, but the rogue can't use it because they'll probably get hurt, and I just think that's a neat little twist. Anyway, in the description below is a link to, first off, James Gifford's Instagram profile. You should go check it out, see his other magic items. He's created a lot of magic items on there. And then also there's his Kickstarter, which I know has been funded, but it's always good to give someone a little more money and help out and support the small creators for D&D who like to make stuff that is fun and add a little flavor to our games. Anyways, that is this week's Fellowship Friday. I've been Richard. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see on the channel, remember to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to get notified when I upload new videos. You can also click over here to see more videos in this playlist, or over here to see what YouTube suggests you watch from my channel.